Hello, good evening, everybody. My name is Obioha Oti, the founder and CEO of Blessed Trust and Hope Organization. Now, my purpose of making this video is to announce to all my friends and followers on social media of something very good that I've decided to bring to them. Now, what am I talking about? I have decided to start a free training series for different kind of people, and I'm particularly targeting this category of people. So please listen very attentively. If you fall within this category of people, then you stand a very good chance to benefit. Number one, people that are in employment, no matter the category of employment that you belong, so long as you are working somewhere and you are being paid salary, then this free training series will be useful to you. Then number two, people that are no longer working, maybe they were working before, they lost their job, or due to one reason or the other, they are no longer in any form of employment at all. The training will be very important for you as well. And finally, people that either contemplating one business or the other to start, or people that are already doing business, particularly businesses that have a maximum of 70 staff. Okay, so I am planning to start a free training series that will be very, very useful to you. You are going to learn a whole lot of things, and it's going to be interactive, and it's going to be very, very exciting, I must tell you. So it's a promise. Yeah. Now, why did I remember to start this free training series? Already, I am into a whole lot of training for different professionals. I'm a consultant, I'm a management consultant, and I consult for a number of people. Also, I arrange training for organizations. I arrange training for individuals as well, paid training. They pay. My organization also do training for corporate organizations and individuals as well in different fields depending on their need. But this one, I want to bring it to the social media so that the general public can benefit. And if I identify a number of persons that I can go a little deeper with in certain kinds of trainings, I can still do that with such people. Now, one of the things I discovered that is militating against businesses in Nigeria, especially with the kind of economic environment that we find ourselves in, and also so many other factors, security issues, financial issues, a whole lot of issues in Nigeria. We have a lot of problems. So one of the challenges that businesses have is that even people that are running them lack certain requisite knowledge to run them. So this training series that I'm going to introduce will really help to sort out so many of those challenges that businesses are passing through, I'm going to give you real practical ideas, give you case studies that will be very useful, and really, really challenge you and inspire you to make sure that whatever you are doing goes very well. Now, I mentioned also people that are in paid employment. Now, to start with, I wrote a book, though it's still with the publisher because I was thinking that before now it would have been published. It's still undergoing the process of publication. 3 books, in fact, 3 actually. One of them is Win the Rat Race. The other one is Quit the Rat Race, and then the third one is Business is a Marathon. I expect that very, very soon, maybe before the ending of July, that is next month, because today is 1st of June. So I expect that before the ending of July that at least these 3 books will be out, or at least one of them will be out. Now, why I'm particularly emphasizing people that are actually working is because I have a whole lot of ideas, a whole lot of information I have that will help them. And I'm going to start with this category of people this night. Okay? Yes. Now, for those that are just watching my video for the first time, I want to remind you, maybe you have seen a similar video like this, because the first time I did, the last video I did actually was the video I did when I introduced my library here, and I said a number of things, and I will introduce one of the books that I published at that time. Let me bring the book and show you. This is the book. Remember when I introduced this book? Too Late for Anything. Okay. So when I introduced this book, there was a video I did, and this book was quickly followed up by another one. The Gods Are Mistaken. I remember. And To the Glory of God, these 2 books now are literature textbooks because they are fiction. They are literature textbooks approved by some states' Ministry of Education. Okay. Now, the information I'm going to pass across this night is an information that you will see in the first book, because these books are actually kind of series, you know. The book Win the Rat Race is being followed up by Quit the Rat Race. Quit the Rat Race is a sequel to Win the Rat Race, and then Business is a Marathon is also a sequel to Quit the Rat Race. So these books are actually in series. Now, what are the ideas that I said I will take up in the series that are going to be beneficial to people that are already working? I proposed a kind of theorem, or let's even call it hypothesis. I propose an idea that I think is superior to what is existing already. And what is that idea? It's an idea that has to do with the age people have to be before they retire, or how long people are expected to work in whichever place they are working, in order to know that they have gotten to the end of their career as employees in that place and retire. Okay, now, we all know already that in Nigeria, the average retirement age in many sectors of the industry, including the government, is 60 years. Some do 65 up to 70 and so on, but at least 60 years. If anybody is up to 60, the person should have started thinking of retirement, or the person must have retired. And the maximum length of time one is expected to work is about 30, 35 years and so on. Now, in my own proposal, I propose that the retirement age and length of service should be brought down. I'm sure some people will be like, what is this guy talking about? What do you mean? What I actually mean is that the time people are allowed to work as employees is too long, and the age that they are expected to get to before they retire is too high. So I think people should retire at the age of 40 maximum. Officially, the government should take it official, the companies should take it official, and so on. And then the maximum length of time somebody is expected to work anywhere should be maximum of 20 years. Now, why am I saying this? Okay, let me prepare the background. In Nigeria, today, for instance, you see a lot of people that are graduating from institutions of higher learning, from the polytechnics, colleges of education, universities. Every year, people are graduating, going for youth service, and then coming out to look for jobs. And there are no jobs. Our economy is not growing. In fact, we are in recession. Companies are folding up. A lot of organizations are not employing. And there are a lot of problems within our economy. Now, this my proposal that I call 40-20 and the 45-25 rule. I will explain the 45 and the 25 much later as we move forward. Is going to solve a lot of employment problems in Nigeria and in any other country that it's employed. Now, how would that happen? Let's start from the length of time that's the duration somebody is expected to work before the person will retire. I propose 20 years. Now, if somebody works for 20 years and leaves, and another person comes to replace that person, whichever place the person has worked, that organization have saved, compared to what is presently in place, that organization has saved about 15 years that another fresh person would have used, to come in. Let me explain further. Now, when people leave an organization earlier enough, what it means is that they have given opportunity earlier for others to come and take their place. That is exactly what it means. Now, if we officially make retirement ages of persons working in different organizations, governments, corporate organizations, and so on, to be high, what it means is that a lot of people will be on the queue waiting for these people to leave before they eventually find a place to go, before there will be vacancy, so to say. So my proposal is 20 years. If you work for 20 years, you are supposed to leave. And if your age is 40 years, within that organization, you are supposed to leave to create chance for others. If that happens, we will have gone a very long way to solve the employment problem. Now, these people that are leaving, what are they supposed to leave to do? Now, my proposal is not that these people will leave wherever they are working and become stranded. My proposal is that when they leave, they would have acquired, before they leave, they would have acquired a lot of knowledge within that organization, number one. Two, they would have saved a whole lot of money, invested their money, made a whole lot of returns, and be ready to use that money to go move to the next phase of their life. Number three, they would have made reasonable contacts within the place they worked that would help them in order to move to the next phase of their life. And number four, they must have passed through a lot of training that will impart the necessary knowledge that they need in order to move to the next phase of life. And what is this next phase of life that I'm talking about? The phase of entrepreneurship. Now, I propose that when people work for about 20 years in an organization that is not their own, they are supposed to leave to start another business of their own, particularly their own, which will help to further employ other persons, to help solve the employment problem that we have in Nigeria and in many countries of the world. Okay, now, myself personally, I worked in the bank, and I worked in the bank for 12 years. And in 2017, 3rd October precisely, I decided to leave. I resigned honorably. I decided to throw in the towel, and I left. Now, before I left, I spoke to a few persons, family, friends, and so on. And many of them were like, "Guy, what are you up to? What are you thinking about? You have a lucrative job here, very, very lucrative job, very high-paying bank job." Because in Nigeria today, one of the few jobs that can pay you well is bank job. So, a lot of people try to argue with me that you shouldn't leave this and that. But my mind was made up because I already knew where I was going. In fact, the truth is that when you read the book, Win the Rat Race, you will discover that I actually planned to leave earlier, after 10 years. But because I was given a promotion, by the time I clocked 10 years on the dot, I decided to enjoy the fruit of my promotion for a while, and that extended the time that I eventually left. Okay, and since I left in 2017, I founded an organization, and the organization has been growing consistently, and today we have more than 100 direct employees in several locations, and we have over 500 agents that are directly benefiting from our activities. and will have a whole lot of teeming customers. I have no regrets. The problem with people that are working as employees in a lot of places is that they are afraid to take decision. There is this thing we call fear of the unknown. That is what is holding a lot of people in bondage. Fear of the unknown. And what is fear of the unknown? Fear of the unknown basically means you are afraid because you don't know what is likely going to happen when you leave your job. But since I left the bank, the truth is that I discovered that I should have left earlier. Because if I had left earlier, I would have moved further in life than I am presently. But I still thank God. So far, so good. So I want to encourage a whole lot of people, especially people that are in paid employment, who are afraid to take a decision. So many of you know that there are a whole lot of things you can do very well by yourself, and maybe some of you have already started something like me, because I didn't just wake up one morning and decide to leave. I already started something, and I watched it grow to a point. Then I decided to move forward. Okay? So the training series that we are talking about will also give insights, give ideas, and a whole lot of knowledge to people that are working, who want to quit their jobs in a very responsible, in a very reasonable, and in a very intelligent manner, to know exactly what to do, when to do it, and how to do it, so that there will be no regrets along the line. We are going to be talking about them. Okay, now I want us to look at this argument, especially for those of us that said they must continue to work until they get to 60 years before they leave the job, or they must work for 30 years, 35 years before they leave. Now, before you started that work, how old were you? Before I started working in the bank, I was 27 years. That was the maximum age that the bank allows before you come in. So I came in at 27 years. A lot of organizations don't take more than 30. In fact, many organizations these days place it at 25 years maximum. My own organization, Blessed Trust, most of the people that we took recently, we've employed 2 times this year. Most of the people that we took at a maximum of 27 years. Sometimes when they come for the aptitude test and we discover that the number of persons, on the queue waiting to come in is much, we prune down the age to 25 years in order to find an excuse to dismiss the crowd and bring the number lower. Now, why do organizations do this? Because I notice that most of the time when we place an advert and say maximum age, especially for entry-level positions, is 27 years or thereabout, people begin to quarrel and say, what do you mean? Why can't you increase the age to 30-something years and so on? What of those of us that have no experience and we are more than this age? How do we get experience? Do you mean that we are not supposed to work and so on? That's funny. Now, organizations now put maximum age limit and bring it down because the younger the person they employ is, the better it is for that organization. Nobody wants to employ somebody who is advanced in age, because invariably the older you are, the more your needs are. the more your responsibilities, because the more you grow older, maybe the more children you have, you may have married, but those that are young between 25, 26, 27 may not have married. They don't have much encumbrances that will really interfere with their job. You get the point now. So, and they have energy, they have the passion, they have the drive. If you transfer that person to anywhere within the company, the person will conveniently go there. There will be no much excuses. You see, so that is why organizations want to employ younger persons to work for them. And most of the time, these younger persons, they don't have experience, so they have the passion to learn, they have the desire to learn, and they have the commitment, to produce results for the organization. So that is actually that. Now, in contrast, you work for the organization for 30 years, and maybe by the time you clock 30 in the organization, you are already 60 something, and you retire and come out. What do you do when you come out after retirement? Can you go and start looking for another job to start afresh? Most of the time, it is very unlikely. So the next thing for you to do is to try to start a business, maybe with your pension and some other money you may have saved. Now, think about it. Is that a wise idea? If somebody else cannot employ you at the age of 60, why will you be the person to employ yourself at that age? Is it not a disservice to yourself? Does it make sense to you? Somebody else employed you when you were 25, 27, maximum of 30. You spent all your energy, your youth, your strength working for somebody else. You acquire experiences in the process. You spent all the experiences and the finances that you gained in that place working for an organization. Then eventually, when it is time for you to work for yourself, you are already very old and tired and perhaps sick and weak. Is that a good idea? I'm talking to those of us that are still working, thinking that your job is secured, you are earning good salary, at least you are taking good care of your children. Whether you are in Nigeria, whether you are in America, in UK, in Canada, any part of the world you choose to be, provided you are still an employee, I'm talking to you. The earlier you leave the employment, the better for you, because you would have acquired a lot of knowledge, experience, money, and so on. These are the things that are going to arm you, to navigate through the vagaries of entrepreneurship, because it's not going to be easy. If you enter it at the age of 60, the chances for success will be very, very low, I must tell you. Okay, now I mentioned fear of the unknown. Many of you are in bondage of fear of the unknown. Let me put it that way. That reminds me of a quote by, I think it was Harriet Tubman, that said, I set 1,000 slaves free. I think that's how she put it. I freed 1,000 slaves. I could have freed 1,000 more if only they knew they were slaves. Now, please don't get me wrong. I am not comparing working as an employee to slavery. No, never. There is dignity in labor. Every employee has his dignity. I was once an employee, and I have a lot of employees, very good people, wonderful people that are working with me, getting results. No. But the idea I'm trying to bring to us is that if you stay too long at that point, whereby you leave the system and you are no longer useful to yourself, in terms of establishing something that can take you through the period of your retirement, then whatever you pass through may be likened to what Harriet Tubman called slavery. Okay. So, back to the series I'm talking about, because my time is a bit fast spent. I didn't plan to talk this far. I didn't plan to talk more than 30 minutes, but let me quickly conclude. So, within this month of May through to December, I'm going to be releasing free training topics, particularly on Facebook, on YouTube. Some of them will be live, particularly the time we'll have to take questions and answer sessions, and some of them may be delivered offline, and I will just post them so that people can go through, depending on my schedule. Truly, I'm a very busy person. I don't usually have time like that, because most of the time, if I'm not in the office, I may be somewhere delivering a certain training, because I do a whole lot of paid training. I may be working on some of the books. I have a lot of books that are in the pipeline that I'm working on, and so many other things. I have family to take care of as well, and so on and so forth. So for me to come out with this is really a big sacrifice, because I know it's going to tell on my schedule, but it's very important. The reason I'm emphasizing this is I have seen a lot of people, especially my former colleagues, that left the system. Some of them left when they didn't envisage that they were going to leave. After so many years, they left suddenly and they became stranded. So if I start early to talk to people about this, to emphasize it, drum it into their ears, a lot of people will be prepared ahead of time. Okay, then, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about businesses. We're going to talk about a whole lot of it. Without sounding so boastful, I have a whole lot of practical business experiences to share to people that are into business, people that want to start their own business, and people that have already grown their business up to a certain level. Why I limited the businesses to a business that at least have not more than 70 staff is that those that have more than 70 and so on would have acquired a whole lot of experience, skill, and so on that will help them beyond the scope of the series that we're going to talk about. However, those that still feel that they need some of the things we'll talk about can still be part of the training. Okay, I think I've talked up to almost 35 minutes, and I really have to stop. So please, my friends, my followers, and so on, I will want you to be part of these trainings. At least I will be releasing each topic on weekly basis, at least once every week. and I will come live on Facebook, and with time we'll probably come live on YouTube and some other social media platforms in order to talk to as many people as possible. Okay, I think I will draw the curtain here. So I want to thank every one of you that has had the patience to listen to me, and I want to encourage you to please be part of this training series. They are going to be very, 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 very exciting, very, very, very in fact, it's going to be, packed, action packed. We're going to talk about very interesting topics, starting from how to start a business, the background of starting a business, starting from there to all the complexities that are involved in business, talking about liquidity, talking about HR functions, employing people, giving them roles, functions, what to do, and so on, building systems, managing people, managing cash, managing the systems, internal control, marketing, advertising, a whole lot of things. We're going to talk about them. Okay, so see you the next time that we are going to have the next training. By next training, I'm going to still emphasize a little more on those that are in paid employment, on how they would gradually start thinking of finding their way out, and some of the signs that will tell them that it is time to start drawing the curtain. Okay, please, I will stop here. Remember, once again, my name is Obiora Oti, the MD and CEO of Blessed Trust. Okay, see you by next training topic. Thank you and bye.